Our band seems to go in cycles. We spent 2018 and 2019 quite relentlessly on the road, and then obviously everybody knows what happened during the COVID years, but we kind of withdrew and became a bit of a studio band for a good number of years. Now that our third album is nearing its completion and we're coming out towards the end of the year, we're coming out of being a studio band and starting to play a few more shows here and there. So the band kind of fluctuates a lot. So 11 months ago we were still very much in studio mode, and I think now we're coming out of that. Slowly but surely. We like to do things in our own time. Getting older for it as well.
Storytelling, I like to think of it as a series of expanding circles, and they go inwards, so they collapse in circles. You start with the establishing shot, and then you get closer and closer and closer and lead the audience to exactly how you want to hear it, while leaving some ambiguity because you're not directly telling them. But with the track as we wrote it, this is one of the least ambiguous tracks we've written, which could also make you refocus on how you viewed the other tracks. We want to make you think back on the other tracks when you listen to this and go, oh, that's that, and have those kind of revelation moments.
Without giving too much away, once you've heard this single in its entirety, I'm sure you will go back to the other two tracks and notice a lot of themes and motifs and borrowed lyrics and things of the sort. And that's been done on purpose. I know it's been a long, slow game, but that we've laid down a lot that we feel kind of the sum of its parts are greater than, wait, what is the expression? That some of its parts are greater than the individual, whatever it is, you know what I'm trying to say. Just go listen to the single.
And then go listen to the other singles.
Listen to everything, mate. F it. To be quite honest, as much as we joke about winging it the whole time, we actually do think about virtually every aspect of what we put. We very rarely release anything, if ever actually, release anything that we haven't really thought about and haven't been very intentional with. Choice of wardrobe is significant. The way the colours are significant. The way the frame is set up is very significant. Aspect ratio. I mean, we think, you know, the frame rate. We think about all of these. We overthink, I think, to be quite frank, and it's all significant, at least in our minds, to the story we're trying to tell and the message that we're trying to convey. The first draft of this song was Johnson was still in power. I had in mind almost an ironic party anthem for the parties that he'd been doing during the lockdowns. I think a lot of the times as well, when you're in a near dystopian reality, the temptation can be just to let loose a bit and party and have a good time and kind of throw caution to the wind and be a bit more nihilistic about it. So there's some of that in it, certainly.
I mean, isn't that Brave New World? The counterpoint to Orwell's 1984, Brave New World, is all about essentially everybody having happy pills to ignore the state of the world. So, yeah. No, we draw our artistic references from all over the place.
Yeah, and I think, you know, that's certainly relevant. I think a lot of people at the moment are nihilistic in their outlook because there's nothing good to look forward to under the current regime. So let's hope that, well, for us, as we're recording this, in 2 days' time, Is it 2 days? 3 days?
3 days.
4 days?
4.
Maybe never.
Our Independence Day from the Tories.
Oh Christ. Yeah, who knows? I think, yeah, that sometimes joy can be found also in the worst places. It's nuanced, like everything else.
How British is that? We're finding the trench humour.
Yeah, there's a lot of... To be honest, there is a lot of trench humour in it, to be quite frank. The date is relevant as well for that. So.
Yes, it is.
Leading up to perhaps dire consequences for how things have gone recently. So let's hope not. Let's hope that we're moving into a utopian era. A golden era for humanity. Vote Brain Ape. Nah, f***ing bring it on, mate.
Yeah, 100%.
I'll kiss every one of you. Kill social media, okay? Social media is honestly one of the biggest diseases humanity has ever created, and that's saying a lot. Kill it all.
Shaking my head. Social media is great.
It's bloody not. All it does is marginalise. It creates echo chambers where people they go nuts. They go potty. We're not designed to be able to contact every single human on the f***ing planet. Kill it all. Just kill it all.
No.
Kill it all. Stop following us.
No. It's not the social media itself that's bad. It's actually just people are bad.
I don't believe that.
Algorithms, you cannot make an algorithm that is not biased towards who made the algorithm. Whether it be for heterosexual, cis, hetero males or anything.
It exacerbates.
The best and worst thing it has done is given us niches, given us the ability to go and find our people. That is a fantastic ability. The flip side to that is you get an echo chamber of the most terrible ideas.
But not only that, you also lose the ability to have a nuanced conversation with somebody you don't agree with.
I don't think that's necessarily true.
Well, as I said, I'm right and you're wrong.
Okay, then. You're just as totalitarian as the rest of them.
All tongue-in-cheek in it, though. The 1910 aspect to the title is slightly less relevant to the contemporary setting that we may be critiquing with this new single. I think that plays more into the overarching narrative that we've been spinning since 2021, 2022, whenever we started this journey, that will become more apparent when the album comes out. Traveling forward. But certainly when you take history and apply that lens to contemporary politics, one would hope that these people who supposedly went to Eton to study politics and history would avoid having certain mistakes repeated throughout history. When you look at 1910, not only is it relevant for the obvious war that's about to come down,
and the politics before.
Yeah, it's more about how mismanaged the political atmosphere was back in the day, but also with the Irish Home Rule movement, you know, a lot of unnecessary bloodshed because of mishandled politics. And I think that when you look at it like that, yes, it's certainly relevant to today, but let's hope it's not too relevant. No, surprisingly, we have no plans to move to the West Midlands. However, there are talks of a tour being organised sometime the end of this year in conjunction with the album coming out. So maybe November time, you may see 1 or 2 dates in the West Midlands popping up. If so, we'll be there, and hopefully so will you. We've mentioned a few times in these sorts of things what our recent influences have been. I don't think they've changed too much over the last year or so.
No.
It's still a lot of, I was going to say Avril Lavigne, Billie Eilish. What's that?
We have a song called Avril Lavigne.
Maybe. No, a lot of Billie Eilish, a lot of Childish Gambino.
The stuff we love, the stuff we listen to on a daily basis has influenced us massively.
It wouldn't be amiss to say that also, to be quite frank, me having joined the Kid and I last year, whenever it was, hasn't also influenced the songwriting as we've been writing this album. We went into the album in a very electronic mindset, I think.
Yep.
A very contemporary mindset, and then obviously Jacob, the wonderful Jacob Powell, he has drummed on all of our stuff since 2016,
Yep.
right? So he's already had an influence on our writing style, but me then joining his band and being under his wing and having to write to his constraints has recontextualized a few influences within Brainape. And I don't think the riff in Downing Street would have come out the same way had that not been the case. So in a very real way, pal, you've influenced Brainape. Who would have thought? Does it matter? Who cares?
As a sneak peek, that B-side is something we're quite proud of. That gives you a hint onto what the album's going to be like.
God save the king. Stepping shy of where the curve meets the road.
Everything that Brainape has released for the last couple of years has been very insular. We've had very little outside influence. We're our own boss within the studio. We're our own bosses on any kind of location or any film set that we shoot music videos for. We've released some written word snippets here and there, and that's been the two of us. No, basically. No, no one else is us.
We do it all ourselves.
Fuck rag. It's important to vote when you realise that within the context of contemporary history, not very many people have had the chance. And you have been blessed to have been born into a time where you can have a say. The fact that people died so that you have the right to vote is very, very important and should be respected, in my view. Even if you go and spoil ballot, go do that rather than not vote. Voting is very, very important. It's only within the last 50 years, really, that everybody's had a fair and equal say in politics. So do yourself a service. And also, if you don't vote, you have no right to moan about anything that happens in the country, to be quite frank, because you're responsible for that. Oh, it me off when people don't vote and then they're like, you have nothing to do it. Off. Democracy is so fragile, especially at the moment. best thing you can do is protect it by voting. It amuses me when people think that politics doesn't affect them, because they think it's like above their day-to-day. Your day-to-day is so unbelievably, it is dictated by current politics. It doesn't matter how you feel about that, that is a fact. The prices in the shops, it's politics. How people feel in the street, whether they're nice to you on the bus, politics. Whether you've even got a bus to get on, politics. It's all governed by that. So if anything pisses you off out there, go and vote. Go have your say. Try and change it for the better.
Minky is, I'm not.
Off.
I have a family now. I have to stay at home.
That's such bollocks. That's such bollocks. You have stages to your drunkenness. You don't want to see stage 4.
Allegedly.
You don't want to see stage 4.
Allegedly.
Stage 1 and 2 are fun.
End of the day, we're in a scene where people like to party. We party. We like to party.
Just as f***ing hard. We'll party harder than any of you. We played a few shows that have lasted longer than an hour, usually when we're headlining. I think the first one we did might have been Bristol in 22.
Oh gosh.
Not a good show, actually,
No.
despite being over an hour. I think we just refused
We
to
were party animals that time.
I think we just refused to leave the stage, to be quite frank.
God save the king.
On the 19th of July, we're playing 45 minutes. That's close to an hour. And it depends. Maybe the mood will take us and we'll jam for a bit.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. An hour-long show, it's a long one. We put our all into every show we have, and the longer it is,
The less we have to give afterwards.
yes.
We shrivel like raisins.
It's like. When you're on tour, you don't have money. Not at our level. So you eat what you can find and what you can get.
At the bin.
At the bin. At the back of venues. There was one time where we got booked in Exeter, and we got pizza ordered for us, and it was the single greatest night of our
great.
lives. We all ate like kings because it was all just a pile of Dominoes, and it was wonderful.
Pizza kings.
In terms of connoisseur for food on tour, that doesn't happen. You go for the cheapest denominator and then just live at that for a while.
I would quite like to see a duopoly, which is a mix between a technocracy and the toning system we've got now. And every position has 2 people to fill the role, and they have to be in unanimous decision. It would never get anywhere. You'd never get anything done. They'd all argue. But
Yeah, that sounds like a layer of bureaucracy, which just is.
it sounds fun to me when you've got actual specialists arguing against people who actually understand how politics work.
I'm not a fan of how our current system works in the way that a prime minister will just grab a random councillor and be like, you are going to be Chancellor of the Exchequer and you are going to be Minister for Health.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like
duopoly.
It's like, are you being Minister for Health when your career is literally just politics?
Because
You
then
went-
they understand the political side of things.
Yeah,
But then
but
if you had a
that's
duopoly, you could then also have the technocrat to aid him.
Well, so that's the idea of the system at the moment, is that you have the politician who's able to put through the policy.
Do you want to
and
add
then they have
another
an
level?
entire
Yeah,
council
but they
of
don't
people
listen to
behind
their
them.
council.
Of course they don't. And
That's what I'm
the
saying.
thing
Give
that-
the technocrat as much say as the diplomat, and Bob's your uncle. You get deadlock in every single decision you ever try and have. The Labour Party is more than welcome to use our song as their We've Won the Election campaign song. Go for it, go nuts. Let's hear that song across the entire country for a couple of weeks.
Oh well, we never did read.
Do you know who we would love to use our music?
Michael Caine.
No. Yes. Let's be honest here. No.
Sir Michael Caine.
No. Count Binface.
Oh,
He
yeah.
wants to use our music. You know what?
It might be Nigel Farage underneath that bin. It was me the entire time.
It was me.